last but not least, I'll introduce Natalie and Lindsay. So this is Lindsay McDonald, and Lindsay is with Fresh Eye Thinking, and Natalie Zend is the principal of ZENDialogue. And I'll hand it over to you two to introduce yourselves a bit further.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I have to say, it's a whole other reality, you know, seeing your faces. I can, you know, it feels like, wow, there are actually people with us and we are connected. We're all here. We're all bodies in spaces and we're joined up miraculously. So welcome, everybody. This session is about, it's going to allow us to gain insight into complex issues through the complex systems of our bodies. We're going to share two exercises from Social Presencing Theater, which was developed by Arowana Hayashi from the Presencing Institute at MIT. The first one is called the 20-minute dance, but we're going to do a modified short version as a kind of warm-up, and that'll be a way of getting connected with our bodies and practicing following, you know, listening to the body and following where it wants to go. And then we're going to move into an embodied technique called the Stuck. And that allows us to experience our bodies as holders of knowledge. And it's basically a way of going through what Otto Scharmer, also at the Presencing Institute, calls the you process. And that's his way of articulating the creative or co-creative process of bringing something new into the world. And so, you know, this exercise is a way of really quickly going through that you and gaining insights by accessing the wisdom in our bodies. And so we'll be inviting you in that exercise to explore an area of your life or of your work where you're feeling stuck. And we thought, you know, this is always a useful tool to have in your toolkit, but in this time especially, we thought many of us might be feeling, you know, even more stuck perhaps than usual because of our circumstances. And we thought this could be a really useful exercise and a good tool to take forward. So you won't have to share what that stuck place is about. So you can really go as deep and as personal as you like. And I want to say from the outset that because we're accessing these stuck places and doing embodied work, emotions could come up for you, and they might be emotions that you like, or they might be emotions that you find uncomfortable. And so we want to say from the outset that if at any point you feel like you would like some support, you're struggling a little bit, you can signal that in the chat, and one of us, Lindsay or I, will go into a breakout room with you and give you that support. So just a word about myself. My passion is really for movement improv as a form of mindfulness, and I'm also really passionate about facilitating group processes to support collective intelligence as a way of addressing complex social issues. So that's some of what brings me to this work. Over to you, Lindsay.
Thank you. Thanks, Natalie. I guess what brings me to this work is I worked as a composer in theater and dance, and I just witnessed the wonder of this emergent, embodied, and co-created work that just seemed to bring itself to life. And as a facilitator, I work in the area of social change and systems thinking and looking how they interact to try to shift them a little so we have a kinder and more sustainable future. So as Natalie said, social presencing theater brings this embodiment together with the social change and the piece of mindfulness. So that intersection is where social presencing theater resides. And this is where Natalie and I met. And we're really, really excited to share a little glimpse into this work today. So again, specific with the roadmap, I'll just a couple of minutes share embodiment work, and then I will lead you into the 20-minute dance, which is the practice of synchronizing the body and mind to prepare us for stuck. Coming out of the dance, we'll invite you into a breakout room where you can share your experience. Then we'll bring you into the main room, and Natalie will start stuck with a very similar process all together in this room. then you'll be invited to experience that process again in the breakout rooms together. We'll bring you back into the main room, invite you to journal, capture some insights, and to share in the chat. And then we'll close. And as with every session, I think, in the conference so far, we'll stay another 15 minutes just for your questions or feedback or anything you'd like. So let's just jump right in. And I just want to share a little bit about this practice of an embodiment. What that does is it acknowledges the body's intelligence and its capacity as a sensing organ. And this sensing organ is complex. It's built of many interacting and complex systems. And it's in relationship with the mind. And this relationship, I think, is beautifully illustrated by a quote from Deepak Chopra. And the quote goes like this: it's, "Every cell in your body is eavesdropping into your thoughts." And Natalie's sharing this in the chat. It's every cell in your body is eavesdropping into your thoughts. And when the mind and body is synchronized, we have access to this holistic, this whole sense of intelligence. It's an intelligence that human beings have had access to for millennia. And as we've become less connected to the earth and less connected to our own bodies, this practice of embodiment restores that synchronicity. And we're hoping to do that for the Stuck exercise, to experience that. Now, our body is also in connection to the earth and everything, the openness of space that surrounds us. And the body is not passive in this relationship. It both shapes and is shaped by all the information that's going back and forth through this resonating chamber of the body. And the language of this resonating chamber of the body is feeling. And in social presencing theater, we apply the mindfulness to bring attention to the body and to this resonating chamber and to access any insights that we might have. So I'm going to invite you right now. You've probably been sitting for a while. I just want to invite you to stand up and stretch and just feel your body, and just do that with me now. Just stand up and stretch. And get rid of any tension that you might have. And I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about how we might lean into this language of the body. Just feel your space. Now, the body does two things. The body holds a shape, and it can be still, or it can move. So I'm holding a shape right now, and it's a, oops, I'm moving. I'm holding a shape right now, and it's a standing shape, and I'm still in that shape. The practice of the 20-minute dance is to hold your shape and to notice the sensation in your body, just to notice it. Feel where your feet are connecting to the floor. Just feel if there's any one part of your body that you're noticing, or perhaps you're noticing the whole body. It doesn't matter. Wherever the sensation leads you, feel into that space. And now, if you could just invite a movement to let go of this shape and let another one come. The movement can be a big movement, it can be a long movement, or it can be a really small movement. You can just move a finger and stop there, and it can be short. So whatever movement comes, doesn't matter. Your body is going to lead. And when we lean into this exercise, you can step out of the frame if you feel you might be self-conscious. Step out of the frame, and then nobody's going to see what you do. The important thing is to follow the movement in your body. So ordinarily, we would be doing this exercise together in a room. And when you do that, you can really feel the presence of everybody in the room there. So just as you're standing here now, I just want you to feel, just reach out and just feel into that sense of knowing of knowing that there are other people on this planet right now doing exactly the same exercise. Just breathe and feel that sense of connection. We would also ordinarily be doing this exercise in silence, but I am going to do some guiding through it. And then I'm going to leave you alone for a minute or two where you can self-guide. So I'm going to just explain how this exercise is going to begin. And it does begin lying on the floor if that's available to you. So if you could find a spot on the floor to lie down, it will progress developmentally. So just lie on the floor and relax. And what I'm going to be doing is I will guide you through the lying level, just to feeling the connections. And the invitation will be to alternate, to feel into that shape and sense into it. What does it have to say? And then invite a movement, and it can be long, short, small, but keep it at the lying level. And move until you feel that it's time to pause again. And when you pause, feel into that shape. Now, one of the supports for embodiment is keeping your eyes closed. So you may do that, or just keep them downcast if you don't want to close your eyes. And I will just begin. Why don't we just begin this just by feeling present? Just feel present and grounded in this spot. And then just sink more deeply into the body. And take a moment to really feel into this connection with the earth. Feel the weight of this connection and the relationship. We live here. We have a place here. We belong here on this spot right now. Now bring some attention to your breathing. Your breathing body, just notice it. And take a moment to feel into whatever shape you're in. Where is the sensation, tension in your fingertips or your toes? Feel into that shape, and now just let it go. Let it go and notice the movement of your body and where the body wants to pause in its next shape. When you're paused there, feel into that shape. Where is the sensation? And now into moving again. You can twist or roll or bend. I'm just going to leave you for just a minute or two, and as you experience that. Feel that connection with everybody else doing this work. I'm going to invite you, if you want to, start moving higher up into the sitting level. I'm going to invite you to explore on that level. If you want to stay lying down, then stay lying down. You don't have to move up, but if you want to shift up and explore that sitting level, you're welcome to do that now. Keeping your eyes closed, I invite you to keep those eyes closed and keep on alternating the shape and the movement. How do your arms feel? Your head? And feel into that for the next minute. Now I'll invite you, if you want to take it up, start exploring your way into the standing level. If you're still on the ground and you want to stay on the ground, then I invite you to do that. But keep on alternating the pauses and the movement and leaning into the sensation. I'm going to let you explore this for another couple of minutes. Just for another 30 seconds. I'm going to invite you to make your way back to your computer screen, and what we'll be doing is sending you to breakout rooms and you'll be there with one other person, maybe two, so pairs or three, and we'll be there for 5 or 6 minutes. So what we're going to do is invite one person to share their experience just for 2 minutes, speak for 2 minutes, and the second person will just listen. And then we'll broadcast a message into the break room when we're about halfway through, and we'll ask you at that point to swap roles. So the second person just speaks for 2 minutes and the other person listens. And after that, just take some notes, and if you want to share anything, but will be just a short 5 minutes. And is there anything I missed, Natalie? I feel like there's something I missed in that instruction. The instructions again are in the chat, so we'll invite you to go in and share. And on the way, when you come back, we'll ask you to pop an insight into the chat and share with us. Thank you. So we'll put you in the breakout rooms now.
All right, we're just opening the room.
I'm just loving seeing your faces.
I know, me too.
There's something about the technology, I just can never get over it.
Okay, the technology must have bumped everyone back in now. Everyone's come in. Welcome back. We're inviting you to, if you could, we'd love you to share an insight or a sense of the feeling of that exercise in the chat, just to share in the larger group. So we'd love to see anything.
Elaine and I realized we need to dance more after this.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Oh, we both enjoyed it.
That's what happened for me after doing this. Oh, here we go.
Interplay between free liberating movement and conceptual structures of the body that we've been trained, as in yoga.
Yeah, the vocabulary ends up expressing itself.
Yeah, it feels so good moving freely after working through a box that you're teaching on. Yeah, I think I experience this every time I do this. It's a wonderful practice to start your day with. It feels like you're just opening into your day. And in the afternoon, if you have that little drop. Well, thank you. I mean, continue to share. Are we ready to move on, do you think, Natalie? Continue to share. And Natalie's going to introduce now our central exercise, and we'll move on into that. Take it away, Natalie.
Just a second here. There we go. Great. So that was a way of giving us a bit of practice around being with the body and listening to where it wants to go and following that guidance. And we're going to be applying that same practice for this next exercise called the Stuck. It's the main technique in social presencing theater, and we're doing a modified version here. It's a practice that can be used by individuals, which is how we're doing it here, and also by teams. And it's a way of letting the intelligence of the body guide us in our decisions and our actions. And so it's really about suspending the problem-solving mind, and rather than trying to fix the situation that we're in from that same place that probably got us into this stuckness, instead we feel deeply into the current reality that we're in. And we pay attention to the knowing that's in our body and allow our body to show us ways forward, new directions, new insights that might not be accessible through our thinking mind. I'm hearing a bit of sound, maybe on your end, Lindsay. I don't know.
No,
No?
but I will mute. Let me mute.
Great.
You'll find out.
All right. So my invitation is for you to think of a challenge, and it can be in any area of your life or your work. It could also be a challenge in the larger social body or in the world. Some place where you're trying to create something, but that's just not moving forward. And it might be that there are external forces that are holding it down or stretching it too thin or blocking its way. There might be internal forces that are holding you back. Everybody's stuck is going to be different. And again, you won't be sharing any detail of this, so you can get really personal and go very deep. And so you might already have something in mind, but if you don't, you can take a moment now and you can literally ask yourself inside, where are you feeling stuck right now in your life or your work? So you can ask that and breathe and notice the very first thing that comes to you. And so in a moment, I'm going to be guiding you through a process to work with that stuck, but I'm going to start by showing you, by demonstrating. And yeah, and so I'll be working with the stuck that came to me, that I worked with a couple of days ago. So what I'll invite you to do is connect with that stuck place and then let it come through into your body as a shape or a gesture. So what came to me the other day was this. I'm like looking up. My hands are over my head, kind of tense. All right, so you let whatever it is come into your body, and we're going to spend a little bit of time here just noticing how it is to be in this current reality. And then after a bit, I'll invite you to speak a phrase or a sentence that your body wants to speak from this shape. So what came to me was, it's too much. And then we're going to deepen the sense, like lean more into this, what we call sculpture 1. And then lighten up a little bit on it and notice where your body wants to go from here. And you're not thinking, you're not planning, you're not acting or representing or miming. You're just literally letting go of your thoughts and letting your body move, and you're following it with your attention. And so you let that go where you want. And that movement journey might take about a minute or so. In my case, it was something like this. And then you let it just come to a natural end and stop. And this will be, your sculpture 2. In my case, it looked like this. And we'll spend a bit of time here feeling into this. And then you'll let this shape speak a phrase or a sentence. In my case, it was, I have space. My gaze was forward, my hands were pushing out. And then we'll have a chance to reflect and to share. All right, so are you ready? Can't see everybody, but I'll guide it through you. You can leave your video on if you're willing, it helps me to guide, but you can also turn it off if you prefer not to be seen. And you can do this at your own pace. It might be faster or slower than my guidance. And you can also do it in any position. You can stay seated or you can stand up. Okay, so if you're ready, I invite you to think of that stuck place. Yeah, I can see everybody in gallery mode. That's great, thanks. Thanks for the tip. So I invite you to think of that stuck place, and now just attend to your body and let that feeling of being stuck in this particular situation that you find yourself in come into your body as a shape or a gesture. It might take a few moments without thinking about it, without knowing what you're doing. Just really let your body be the guide. And you're just embodying that feeling of stuck. Just be and do and notice. and really make it clear, make that shape clear and concrete. And so this is going to be your sculpture 1, and it might be uncomfortable. If you need to release it for a moment, you can feel free to do that and then come back to it. But just take some time here noticing how it is to be in this stuck place. Just really pay attention, because there's a gold mine of information here. Yeah, just get really curious. And whenever you're ready, you can speak a short phrase or a sentence from this stuck place. You're muted, so you can speak it out loud to yourself. Just let your body say what it wants to say from this sculpture 1. And I'm going to invite you to just, yeah, as I said, you can release if you want for a moment, but you can come back into this sculpture 1 and again, just really feel what it's like to be in this shape. Amplify it, lean into it. How familiar can you get with this? What is it telling you? And whenever you're ready, you can start to lighten up on that and notice what in your body wants to move. Where does your body want to go from here? And let your body lead and just follow it with your attention. See where it wants to go. Might take a minute. Might surprise you. And just keep following along and noticing until that movement comes to its natural end and it just stops. And so this is your sculpture 2. And I invite you to take some time and just hang out in this sculpture 2. You might clarify that shape even more. Breathe and notice, what is it like to be in this place? How does your body feel? Any emotions? Just get really curious. And whenever you're ready, you can allow this shape to speak a phrase or a sentence. Hear what it has to say. And I invite you to stay longer here if you'd like to, but if you feel ready to come out of it, you can take a moment and just reflect, just be with what that experience was. You can grab your paper and pen and jot down reflections if you like. And just, you know, see what did this tell you about your current situation? Were there any insights for you? I'll take just about a minute more. And in a moment, a minute or two next, we're going to be sending you into breakout rooms again. This time it'll be in triads. And we're going to invite you one by one to show that sculpture 1, the movement journey to sculpture 2. So like you want to make sure that you're visible in the video to the other 2 people you're with. And you're going to show them, speak your first sentence. So in my case, it was, it's too much. And then take enough time that they can really see you and feel you here. And then show that movement journey, whatever it looked like. And then show them sculpture 2 and speak that second sentence. I have space. And give them again enough time so that they can see and feel what you're doing. And then those of you who are observing and witnessing, you're just really having your own experience. What is it like to witness this person? What are you seeing and sensing and feeling? It's not about judging or giving advice or counseling or, telling a story. It's really, you're going to share your own experience, and you'll do it in a sentence or 2, starting with I saw, I sensed, I felt. And then you'll go around to each of the other 2 people in the same way. So Lauren, and again, sorry, you'll have instructions in the chat, so you can keep your chat open, and we'll also broadcast instructions if that helps you move through in terms of timing. And you'll have 10 minutes, so about 3 minutes each. Enjoy.
Great. So if one of you could copy and paste the instructions into the chat, and then I will just start the breakout room.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So who would like to begin?
I could start if you like.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. So this is my sculpture A. And the word is frustrated. And this is my sculpture B. And the word is grateful.
Thank you.
Do I share now a reflection of what I?
Yeah, I think so. So I can share just on what I saw there. In the first sculpture, I saw tension and pulling inward. And on the second, the movement was it almost felt divine. It had this really opening up and sort of a divinity to it.
Mm-hmm. My experience of your first sculpture was maybe a bit of anger too, some anger there, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then I felt somehow impressed by you reaching this point. Impressed.
Neat. Neat.
Yeah. Should I go next?
Yeah, sure.
My first one, sorry, let's get the screen right here. First one was like this. And my words were, I don't want to. Don't make me, like, I don't want to. And then I did a little something, but I ended up sort of hanging. I can't really show this very well on the video, but ended up hanging like a rag doll. And it was, and I said, I just want to hang here.
Mm.
You're right. We really can't see sculpture too well.
All right, let me see if I can. It's just a hanging. I'm just hanging anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
What was the word for sculpture 2 again?
I just want to hang here.
Just want to hang here.
Kind of be free. I just want to be free and hang here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In the first sculpture, I see like a lot of you're very closed in, and you're really, it's the sense is being protective. Yeah, and the feeling I get coming off you is like maybe some, like I say, resistance, you know. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then in the second sculpture, I mean, I see you with your arms down, so and your body position and everything just feels, the feeling I get is relaxed and the sense of kind of release.
That's what I wrote. Actually, I wrote the word release in my journaling. Yeah. Thank you.
I feel like I got something. The first sculpture, I got incredible focus, force of mind, and energy and strength somehow in that gesture of blocking. And the shift downward into something that was limp felt like it was taking me to a place of smallness, of giving up, of being drained. So I was surprised because it felt like it was almost going the opposite way to me. But that's where I plugged in there.
Yeah, I also, I don't know, should I be sharing what I wrote in my journal or no? I don't know, but okay. This girl was here, right? I did also write the word exhausted when I did the hanging. So I think you're spot on. Yeah.
Funny, okay?
And release, exhausted. You guys both keyed into my.
Great. Okay, so I will go. So moving into my first one. Let me just see. And my sentence is, I am gasping for air. And my sentence is, I'm emerging.
What's your hand doing, Lindsay? Sorry, we can't see your full, okay. Is it?
And I was looking up. Huh. Sorry, that sentence was different than the one that I did before. I don't know if that's
Allowed?
what came at the time.
So the first one to me felt, yeah, heavy-hearted and sad. Actually, I felt sad. First one, but then the second one felt hopeful to me. Hopeful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also felt sadness in the first one, and some resignation, and the sentence, my response to the sentence was a feeling of being like trapped or something. And then the second one seemed like everything was kind of up and open, and so my sense was like freedom or possibility, you know, was sort of what came out of that for me.
Thank you. Thank you. It's funny how always I find people's impressions sort of inform me differently. It's funny, we've got another minute. Did we want to talk about our experience? Did any?
I'll share that. I was a little bit surprised by my first posture.
Yeah.
When I, in response to the situation.
Yeah.
I kind of already thought I was moving towards the second one. So I don't know, maybe I was just tapping into where I have been with it, but maybe there's an indication that some of that's still there. So that's good to notice. So.
Well, it's funny, I felt the same way. I was surprised by my first one, and I was surprised at the feeling I got because it made me think differently about it. It was funny. But, Jen, did you notice anything?
Yeah, it was quite a strong feeling of anger for me behind my closed arms, and that surprised me.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but I didn't feel like it was going to engulf me or anything. I felt like there was a way out or a way through.
Yeah. Oh, I see we've got a few seconds left. They're going to bring us back. Well, thank you for nice meeting you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
See you. Welcoming people back. Welcome back. Welcome. Welcome. Hello. I think that everyone has been forced back. Thank you for joining us back. What we're going to invite you to do now is to just take a pen and paper and capture what your sentences were. What was your sentence from sculpture 1? What was your sentence from sculpture 2? And then we'd like you to capture a third sentence, and that is, what did that journey, that motion from sculpture 1 into sculpture 2, what did it feel like? So those instructions are in the chat. What did that feel like? And when you've got all the 3 sentences, we'd love you to share that. But you can't press send on the chat. So put your sentences into the chat and wait till all 3 of them are down, and then press send. Because what you'll notice happens is these beautiful little diamonds of poetry come onto the screen. So we'll give you a minute to capture those sentences and type them into the chat, and then press send to everybody. And we'd love to just share.
And it's optional, like everything in life.
As you're posting in the chat, we're just going to read a few of these because they really are beautiful. One is exhale, inhale, I can do this. I'm boxed in. I tune into my heart. and invite the future, freedom and trust. I'm afraid. I can do this. Possibility. See how these sort of are little haikus? They are beautiful little pieces of poetry, and as you keep on, Natalie, is there one there that everything is so much effort? Oh, that's mine. Oops. I don't know where to go. I don't have to do anything. Seeking relief and to comfort myself.
I got this. I got this. I am here. Gradual, spontaneous, serendipitous.
Thanks.
I feel constricted and frustrated. I want to feel open and free. Move into the unpredictable.
I want to connect. I want space. Opening. So as you're, I think as things, these little gems are still coming in, and I do want to say that we are a few minutes over. So thank you for staying longer, and we would love it if you would like to stay longer. I know it's your lunchtime, but if you've got any questions, Natalie and I will stay here for another 15 minutes or so. And we would also love to connect with you. So if you're interested in any articles or links to videos, please share. You could actually select to share with either myself or Natalie in the chat privately. That's way it won't be, your email won't be visible. And we'll reach out to you and share with you some links to some of this work and videos. Or if you'd just like to connect, I'm sure you can find our connections in the conference somewhere. But oh, thank you. Thank you. So thanks for joining us. We both really love this work and really believe in the power of it. Natalie, did you want to say some final words?
I just want to thank you for your courage to dive into something like this, and yeah, and you know, I did it again today. I've been doing it pretty regularly, and I find each time it's kind of surprising and revelatory. So my hope is that this is something that actually can really, you know, support you. It only takes about 5 minutes, you know, as a way to turn toward where you're stuck and move to something different. So maybe we wanted to, for anyone who wants to stay on, and anyone who needs to go, we invite you to unmute and say goodbye.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your voices. So if you please, just a moment of noise, then unmute and say goodbye.